All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Excellent Adventures. Today we have a very special guest coming all the way live from Tennessee. We have Mel, aka Wilma the Wonder Hen, on all social media platforms. She has her own podcast. She has her own homestead, all types of backyard poultry and more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Woo, we're so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. One of my favorite people to follow on social media. I have a ton of questions because I'm about to get into ducks, and I'm excited about that. And I see you've been living your best duck life and geese life, actually goose life. I don't even know how to say it. Is it goose or geese? The
Well,
best goose life.
they're goslings when they're babies, and then depending on if it's a male or female, it'd be goose or gander.
There
So,
you go. Well, she's been goosing and gandering around, and she's also has the backyard poultry, and just wonderful to have you on the show. We appreciate you joining us today.
yay.
All
We're
right,
big
let's
fans.
talk about it. So the first question I love to ask people is, what was your old cluck moment? What was that moment that you knew you were in for it, that chicken math has hit, and you are now a chicken mama?
Whew. Well, to make it a little short, I guess the answer in a short way is I only started with like 4 laying hens, and that was like over 10 years ago. And now I have over 100 chickens and geese and quail. And so the aha moment for me, like, this is really real, is I'd say maybe 2 years ago. 2 years
Mm.
ago, it hit me. I was like, I have my own, like, group, a gang, gang, a gang of minions that could just take over the whole neighborhood.
Right, right. You know what? You would be a key component to the Chicken Wars video right now. The Chicken Wars videos that are
Yeah.
circulated. You're at the century mark, over 100 birds. That is my dream.
I have like eight or nine coops,
Hmm.
this elaborate quail aviary that only has like 6 quail in it. It's a very
Mm.
small covey, so it's
Hmm.
like this huge elaborate thing. And then I just built a goose pen. And, they have to have their own pool and all that
Hmm.
good stuff. So yeah.
Cool, cool. I was actually a little like apprehensive about getting geese because I've heard they can be aggressive sometimes. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment.
Yeah, they can be aggressive, but not to the person that they imprint on.
Mm.
So once the goslings, you don't want to get grown geese like adult geese. I think that would be very hard to imprint yourself on them. But if you get goslings when they're little babies and they see you as mama, so
Okay.
they're gonna imprint themselves onto you, and then they will be your friends for life.
Oh, I like that. I love that for life situation. That's the type of relationships I need in my life right now.
They live a long time, like 20 years.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
if
Okay.
if they are taken care of well, without
Right.
getting caught by a predator or something, but typically like 20 years. So it's a
Wow.
huge commitment. And
Wow.
once you
That
get
is.
rid of them, if you try to get rid of them, I mean, it's kind of like you're breaking a bond that you created with them. So it'd be kind of
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
It's good. So like you said, they really imprint. I know some dogs do that. Wolves do that as well. Which is an amazing thing. So I thought, as I read somewhere, which I didn't think was true, and I'm glad that you're on the show, and this is what Excellent Adventures is all about. I thought that you actually had to hatch them for them to imprint on you, but if you get baby goslings or ducklings, they will
Yeah.
imprint on you.
Yeah, I've done it both ways. I picked up my live geese from a breeder, Marissa from King's Cox and the Mother Cluckers.
Uh huh.
I picked up 2 baby goslings from her, and then I just recently hatched one in my incubator, but
Hmm.
they both have attached to me. So I don't
Wow.
know. That's just my experience. You can hatch them, and you
Hmm.
just make sure you get them when they're like 2 or 3 days old.
Okay, cool. Is that the little gray fella we see on your social media?
Yeah, the little lone one was the only one that hatched. A friend of mine out of
Hmm.
California sent me a 5 Toulouse. They're
Mm.
French geese uh, eggs, and I put it in my incubator, and only one actually hatched. So I feel bad. So he's attached to me everywhere I
Yeah.
go. He's pretty mad right now because we're out in my she shed, which is where I do like all my podcasting stuff, and he's inside, so he's very mad.
Oh man, gotta deal with a little a little goose attitude.
Yeah, he does. He does have an attitude. It's like a toddler. He just cries and cries.
Oh man,
Oh yeah, it's a huge commitment. Yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, tell me about how did you get your name for your social media, Wilma the Wonder Hen? Did this come off of is that a blue buff Orpington that you have, a lavender?
That's my lavender. That's Wilma.
Okay.
Wilma was like one of my dream. Wilma's like 6 years old now, almost 7.
Wow.
So she was one of my dream breeds that I wanted way back, and I could never get. Our local breeders had them, but you had to get on a waiting list. And
Mm.
every year I never got, picked for that
Oh wow.
hatch. And then I just happened to get picked, and it was Wilma. So I thought it was fitting, since Wilma was my wonder girl, that she would. And also, when she was little, she actually got a little sick
Mm.
as a baby chick, and I had to bring her inside for a while. So I think she just survived. So I called her my wonder hen. So basically, Wilma is the face, and I am just her servant. So
That's how I feel about all of my chickens. I'm just here to serve them whatever they need.
yeah, I saw you got goats, right?
Yeah, I just got ghosts. Chicken math hit. So I started off with 4 as well. Well, 2. I started with 2, and then I picked up 2 immediately after, and it was some buff Orpingtons, the second 2. And I really, really love that breed. They were so nice, and they used to follow me around. And it was just really early on in the chicken journey, and they were actually rescues because I got them from a slaughterhouse, basically.
Aw.
Right. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, but I can totally understand why she would be your favorite. I think that's my favorite breed of chickens.
They are amazing. We have all different types of Orpingtons. They come in every color.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're amazing. They have great personalities. They're a little on the bossier side, and
Uh-huh.
they're actually very sturdy. I think
Yeah.
they handle themselves pretty well.
Yeah, they do. I have some mixed breeds. We don't know what they are. The hatchery couldn't identify them. So,
It's a
but
chicken.
they're chickens. I have some chickens, those chickens, and they kind of run the coop. But when I introduced the buff in, along with her small flock, it was 4 of them. She kind of was like, okay, nobody's picking on my sister, so that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, the pecking order is quite fascinating.
It is.
A lot of people don't realize how mean chickens can be, and how domineering, especially hens. Hens are,
Mm-hmm.
I think, way more can be way more aggressive than roosters. Because if you
Yeah.
took one of those heifers off, I mean, it
Yeah.
is she'll never forget. So,
They remember everything.
yeah, they do.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about your homestead. Can you walk us through? You did kind of touch on it a little bit, but when we go to your homestead, what do we see?
Well, I'm originally from Florida. I'm not like born and bred in Tennessee, but I moved here in 2005, and we actually live on my husband's homestead. My husband grew up here,
Mm.
and on this particular where we live here, there's 7 acres. They do have like 88 acres somewhere else, but here we have well, we do a lot of hay baling, and we have a big garden every year. We do use like rain barrels, and we try to raise as much of our own food as we can. But I mean, we're not 100% reliant on our property. So I mean,
Wow.
we still go to the grocery store and all that good stuff. So.
But not probably not as much as most
No,
people. That's
no,
amazing. That is
yeah,
amazing. You guys have a farm. That's not a homestead. That's
yeah.
Well, 7 acres to me is a whole farm.
Yeah, I mean, my father-in-law, they used to grow tobacco and all that stuff
Mm,
here on this property,
okay.
and they did a lot of more commercial farming here. They
Yeah.
had goats and pigs and cows, and all the standard dairy.
Hmm.
They would milk their cow. My husband would milk his family cow before we would go to elementary school in the morning.
Wow.
So, he knew more about farming than I did when I got here. So he's been a
What
big help for that.
That's awesome. Were you introduced to the farm life and to the chicken life when you moved there, or what? Did
Yes,
you already
yes.
have an introduction before
Well,
that?
my dad always had a big garden when we were growing up, and he
Okay,
actually grew quail. He raised quail for food and things like that. But
cool.
I didn't really have much to do with it. I don't know when you're a teenager and you live in a big city, it's kind of not like I don't know. I wish I'd listened more back then, but I didn't. Uh, but yeah, I didn't really grow up there. My aunt had chickens
Uh huh.
and she had a huge farm, but to actually live it and is wasn't until I moved here.
Got you, got you. That makes so much sense. And then you fell all the way into it. It seems
I
like you
did.
love it.
I just fell. I buried myself basically.
Right, because of course you went from 4 to over 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually downsizing just a tad, just a tad.
All right,
We're
so
we're adding a we're adding a heifer calf, a Jersey calf, and we're
oh,
adding
cool.
some goats. So in order for me to do that, I kind of have to downsize just a little bit. So none of my original chickens, Wilma's followers kind of freaked out when I told her that, but none of the ones that you see online, just a lot of some younger laying hens, maybe bless another family with those
Right.
laying hens so that they can, have eggs and be a little more sustainable. So
What do you do with all of those eggs? You got all of those birds. What happens to those eggs? And sometimes, even with my small flock, I got about 20. I have more eggs than I know what to do with. I give my neighbors eggs, my coworkers. What are you doing with those?
I can't even tell you how many dozens of eggs we get a week. I mean, so many. I give away a lot. The where I live is, I'd say, a little less fortunate. Maybe
Hmm.
is a lot of the people in our neighborhood. So I try and give away all the eggs that I can give away so that they can feed their families.
That's beautiful.
And I do share with like my church and just anyone who needs them. I do sell some occasionally to people that don't live around us, but we pretty much just give away all that I can. Just give them away.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. But
It's
I
not
know that
much
people are
profit here.
really appreciative of that, and that's what this is all about. Is like sharing this knowledge, sharing this information, but also being able to share the actual products and the fruits
Yeah.
with people. So that's
I mean, I know
amazing.
some people, they have to sell their eggs to earn any money back. If you're doing a homestead, you have to be cautious of what you're just giving away. You have to have money coming in. But uh, for me, that never started as that. Like, it's not about profit. I
Yeah.
know that sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't. Because, like I said, I think you said it. You started with 4 chickens. Of course, you weren't trying to make a profit off of four.
Yeah.
And then
But
so what made you want to get other things or other chickens? Was it because like we had one of our friends on from Chakra Chickens. He was like, I just saw a different color egg and I wanted more colors.
yeah, I'm telling you, those olive eggers, we have olive eggers in different colors. And once you start getting those, I guess at first I was focused on like breeds.
Hmm.
I will say that, like, I wanted a specific breed. I wanted to have those cool looking chickens. And then it turned into, I really just want to have cool eggs. I
Right.
want all those different colors. And if you've been on Instagram or any of those social media sites, you see all those beautiful baskets of eggs. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, those copper ones. I don't have a chicken that lays copper, but I want copper morans bad now.
Yes.
like I want
I
some
have
copper
one.
eggs.
I have one left.
Uh-huh.
She's old. She's like 7.5. She's one of
Wow.
my original girls. And she still lays every now and then. Actually, I actually showed a picture of what she had laid, her contribution to the farm.
Uh-huh.
And now that she's old, she only lays on occasion. When she does, her eggs are very, very tiny, almost like marbles.
Yeah, I
And
saw it. It was right
that
before,
was
like a
her.
couple posts before your Memorial Day post. I saw it. You put the huge egg next to the little pebble egg.
Yes, that was hers. That was her contribution to the farm. So I was very proud of her. But
That's
that's where you
cool.
get your olive eggers. Some of those you mix with your black copper Marines
Hmm.
and that mixture. And that's another thing. How exciting! It's like science.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
figure out which breeds to put together, and then you create different colored eggs. So Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes I get mixed in a conversation with people that breed dogs, and they're like, "I'm going to breed this dog with this dog to get this color," and I'm like, "Well, I was thinking that about my chickens."
I love that. I love that. You don't see a lot of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but I don't see where I am a lot of men who are, you know, on
Mm-hmm.
on point for their chickens, and their ladies, and
Uh,
I see you giving them their snacks and things,
mhm.
and that really is very attractive. That's an amazing quality for gentlemen to have. So that's just a tip for you gentlemen. Go pick up some chickens, and you will. If you're single or whatever, you'll probably find you a bunch of ladies. Stand in Tractor Supply.
There you go, fellas. So next time you walk in the Tractor Supply, fellas, just have a
Yeah.
chicken on a leash. It's a woman magnet, chick magnet, if you
Well,
will.
I'm going to tell you that taking your chicken to Tractor Supply, I wouldn't be Mel the Wonder Hen if I didn't tell you that taking your chicken to Tractor Supply is a bad idea, very bad biosecurity. So don't do that. But
Don't do
stand
that.
next, stand next to the chicken feed. Ask her a question or something.
There you
That's
go.
like they tell women to go into like Home Depot and
Uh
Lowe's.
huh.
If you want to find you a single man, men should go into Tractor Supply or your local feed store and start asking the ladies, like, hey, what kind of chickens you got?
I did not know we were gonna get dating and relationship tips here, but
You're
I'm here
welcome.
for it. I'm here for it. That's pretty cool. You were just talking about something very important, though, biosecurity. I know last year we had the big avian flu outbreak at different places. What are some of the things that you picked up and you were able to use to kind of spread information about biosecurity?
Well, like a reference or
Yeah,
point people where they should go,
yeah,
maybe?
either
Yeah.
one. Hmm.
Okay, well, number one, you should go to the USDA. I think it's aphids. I don't remember the exact
Hmm.
URL, but it's the USDA, and it will tell you how to. It's called Defend the Flock,
Mm.
and that will give you lots of biosecurity tips. Now, a lot of time that is more like a commercial.
Yeah.
But there's lots of information in there that you could utilize on even a smaller scale. And biosecurity is like the number one most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, you could go into Tractor Supply. If you don't change your shoes, you bring in home whatever that other person just brought in on their shoes to
Wow.
your farm. And it may seem like far fetched, but it really does happen where people bring in those types of viruses and diseases and they bring it into their own flocks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're thinking you're taking a Tractor Supply, please don't do that.
Hmm.
I know it's cute for the internet, but it's not cute for your chickens.
Right.
Make sure you
No.
wash your hands. I don't allow anyone to come onto my farm that has chickens. So if you come on here, you're not going to be allowed where my chickens are unless you change your shoes and things like that.
That makes sense. That makes plenty of sense. Heath was saying the same thing. He does from City Chicks. He was saying that they have a dip that they walk in and they don't allow people in onto their coop area if they have birds, or if they've been to a park where geese and ducks are the same thing. They
Yes.
have to take the same precautions.
Definitely. Absolutely. I know it sounds over dramatic and silly, but if you care about your flock, it's not. So,
Yeah, but you were able to keep your flock safe through all of that, so we better
yeah.
listen to those that know.
Yeah. I mean, you just had to do a higher level than you would normally have done,
Mm.
making sure you want to keep wild birds away from your flock. So, if you're going to
Yeah.
have bird feeders, don't put them on the coop. We see some of that on TikTok. People are
Hmm.
putting bird feeders on their coop. Please don't do that. So,
Yeah. Yep. No, I appreciate that. That's one thing we can move kind of on to now is talking about social media. I know it's a lot of misinformation being spread on social media. It's also some great and fun things.
hmm
What are some of the things that you love about social media? Because you're pretty famous on Instagram.
well, I love the community. I know that sounds so cliche, but really, Wilma's followers are probably some of the funniest people, some of the most talented people. I try to get to know the people that are interested in watching us.
Hmm.
A lot of people that watch us don't even have chickens. They
Yeah.
may have had chickens when they were little. They may have went to their grandma's house and had chickens. My whole point of our account, if you watch it long enough, is kind of I don't know, it's my mind playing out into video,
Yeah.
and my mind is a little disturbed at times, but I wanted it to be fun. So yeah, I love the people that follow Wilma. They are some of the funniest people.
Yeah, I love it. It's a very, for the most part, a very positive community of people on Instagram and TikTok, Facebook. The what
Yeah,
I
we're
like
also
to
on
call chicken
Pinterest
people.
too. Pinterest is a
Okay.
great place to be.
I need to get on Pinterest. I am
Pinterest
not
is
on
not a
Pinterest.
social media app, so it's a
Yeah.
more of a search engine. So
There we go. I'm gonna have to dive into that
yes,
soon.
you do. Yes, you. I'll tell you, I'm kind of jealous because growing up, one of my dream jobs was being on the radio. I know that I'm too old now to do any of that stuff, but I just remember the little radio station. This has nothing to do with chickens, but the little radio station up the road from us, this little rock station, you could go in there anytime, and those guys were just sitting there smoking and drinking, and they were playing music, and man, you just thought, wow, this is so cool.
Right,
But
for a job, right? The people actually do that for a living, right?
yeah,
Now that's cool. And then you have your own podcast, so you are living that dream. You are living that media dream. Tell me about the podcast. How did that get started?
well, my podcast started, it's more like a passion project, okay? I just wanted to hear other people's stories. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to hear why they got chickens. I wanted to hear how it helped them with their anxiety or their depression. Because a lot of people got chickens during COVID, and a lot of people were shut in, and that's where a lot of these people became chicken owners. So I wanted to hear, like, how did it change your life? So I'm just always interested in other people's why
Yeah.
you. So
Exactly. Same thing here. Exactly. See what I did there? Same thing here. And that's when I got started with chickens too during the pandemic. It was a project for that, and it actually helped with just being stressed, just being stressed out. Just
yes,
being around chickens is almost as impossible to be stressed. Talk about that a little bit, like some of the
yes.
those benefits that we don't think were going to be benefits.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the conversations I had with the people on our show, the benefits are they don't even count eggs. Like eggs are a bonus.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that also felt isolated from during COVID, they had a place to go and sit. We have a lot of people that I'm just saying in general, a lot of people
Hmm.
that had depression, that some people were recovering from drugs and they actually use them as therapy to kind of help them relax. Um, they're they can lower your blood pressure. They can provide endless entertainment.
Yeah, endless.
They have their own personalities. I know a lot of people feel like they're so far from their actual being around a chicken,
Hmm.
other than a grocery store, that
Right.
they they don't know that they have all these amazing personalities. I can look at my chicken and kind of think what she's thinking, like, what's
Right.
going on?
Me too. Most of the time, it's just, do I have food?
Yeah, do you have snacks? Snacks. They are snack driven. They are just hungry heifers. So
They are. They really are. I saw the little girl train her chicken. I was like, I know it was food involved with this training.
yes, always. It's always food. It
Right.
really is. That's all I think of is food.
Absolutely. Tell me about the goose and gander, that the geese and gander that you have. Did you get into that immediately after the chickens, or how did you get into the goose game?
Okay. Well, I didn't get my geese until March of this year. So
Okay.
that's new. Geese are new for me. But anything I get, I always try and learn. That's something that maybe I suggest people do, like before you get chicks. Make sure you research. Figure out all that you know or can know about them before you get them.
Yeah.
So, like with the geese, I contacted my friend who's a breeder, and I thought, I'm going to get geese. I have no idea. I just woke up and I wanted to. So, I see a lot of people had ducks, and I really didn't want ducks because all you ever hear about ducks is how disgustingly messy they are.
Messy, right?
Yeah, disgusting. And geese are messy, but not as messy as ducks would be.
Okay.
So I thought I'm going to go in the middle. So when I brought them home, I was like, that was it. They took all of my soul and sucked it out, and they now have it in their bodies.
I love that. I love that. I'm getting newly into the duck game soon. I got ducks on the way.
Oh, how exciting! What are you getting?
So I'm getting 4 different breeds. I did some research, like you said, some extensive research on YouTube.
Hey, YouTube has a lot of good things.
They do. They have a lot. And you just look for the contradictory information and try to go somewhere down the middle. I talked to my vet, and then I called the hatchery. I called 2 different hatcheries and then asked a million questions. I know I got on their nerves. And then I got 4 breeds coming. I'm just getting 4 ducks with all 4 different breeds.
Oh, and they how exciting.
Right. So I'm just really looking forward to them and hoping they imprint and move forward from there with that.
Aww, that's exciting.
Yep.
I never wanted ducks, but I'll watch your ducks. So.
There we go. And I'll watch your geese. I'll feel the same about geese. Like I want one, but I'm like, I don't know if I want a goose right now. Yeah. I got chased by Canadian geese when I was little. I was like 5. And one bit me on the butt. So I think I got some built-in geese trauma.
Well, I will tell you now, Jack and Shelby, they do chase, even though they're young. They're only 4 months old. But if like the UPS man came in the yard, Jack did chase the UPS man. The UPS man came up and he's like, "Oh, are these geese friendly?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're friendly." Yeah, to me. And as soon as I said that, Jack turned around and he just waddled, and he just chased him right out of the yard.
Oh, wow. You got to attack geese.
Yeah, I was like, "Sorry, man, I can't help you."
Right, that's how I feel about my dog. People are like, "Do your dog bite?" Not me. I mean, she has teeth. I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah. I agree. Very true.
That's cool. So I know you said it was your husband's homestead that you guys moved to. So obviously he's getting these cows and everything. So he helps out. Any other family or friends help out with what you got going on?
No. I have to maintain. Whatever I get, I have to maintain.
Okay.
Me. My husband works a lot. He owns his own company, and you know how that goes.
Right.
If you don't work, you don't work. You don't eat. So
right.
I have to be able to take care of it myself.
Got you. I got you. That makes plenty of sense to me. Yeah. So this is some of the fun questions we ask our chicken people as we wind down in this episode. If you had to pick one breed, and I'm going to ask you a different question because usually it's just about chickens. If you had to pick one type of backyard poultry plus the breed, what would it be?
Let's see. Like poultry in general or like just the breed?
Either one. So like the poultry in general and then the breed of that poultry.
Well, I have to say I do love Mr. Jangles. And he's an Orpington, so
he's huge.
He is huge. He's a big boy, but he's a big baby.
Yeah, I've seen you hold him. And I was like, that is an ostrich.
The whole space up here. But yeah, I'd have to say Mr. Jangles. Any of the Orpingtons are probably my favorites.
I love the Orpington colors too on the roofs. They are really pretty.
Yeah. The boys are always more colorful. If you look at the female versions to the male versions, even though they may be the same color, they have a variant kind of. They have a whole style. And the girls are kind of plain, so.
I think only in humans are the women better looking than the men, and everything else is like the guys have to do something extra to attract the ladies.
They do. Like if you ever watch Wild Birds, like look at the different wild birds, those guys are like stunning. Yeah.
I was looking at oh my goodness, I forgot the name of it, but it's a quail, an Asian quail is like super pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and I was like, man, this thing is amazing. And I saw the female version. I was like, it's just a little gray chick. And I was like, this is crazy.
Those boys have to have something to attract the girls. So
that's it. I know we all kind of borrow from each other. What have you borrowed lately from another backyard farmer or somebody on social media? What tip or trick?
Oh gosh. Well, the latest thing I think I've learned is from my breeder of my geese, and that was new knowledge, learning how to interact with them, what their needs are. So I don't really have anything physical, but more of a tip, like communication.
Okay.
Education.
Yeah. Anything, any tip or trick that you borrowed, give us one. We love to steal that type of information.
I have a million tips in my brain, but I think with my latest would be my latest educational thing personally would be about geese and that they do imprint on their
Mm-hmm.
chickens and mainly their diet is grass.
Mm.
I mean, like 90% of their diet is grass, and even as baby goslings, they will chew on each other just because they need to be outside on grass. They need to graze, kind of like chicken, kind of like
Gotcha.
cows.
Yeah. Wow, that's great information. Good to know. Very good. And I wonder if ducks need to graze. I might need to open my pen up a little more.
Yeah, you gotta learn. You gotta check out all those things.
Yep. Yep. No, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining our show. It's been an amazing conversation. I do want to ask you the question we love to ask everybody, and I got this from my guys, All the Smoke. Who would you like to see on the Excellent Adventure show? But you might have to help get them on here.
Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! I think. Let's see. Well, oh gosh, that's a hard question. That's not a fair question.
I'm sorry.
There's so many, but if I would talk about my own favorite people, I would love to see you have Ray from COVID Cluckers.
Okay, I love COVID Cluckers.
She started during COVID, and she is actually very, very smart. She started. She's a teacher, so she wanted to know all the knowledge first. And she lives in a city, so she has to deal with the restrictions.
Yep, and ordinances. Yep.
So that would be my pick.
I love that pick. I'm going to hit up COVID Cluckers as soon as we get finished.
Okay.
She's one of my favorite people to follow. I will. She's one of my favorite people to follow. So positive, always sharing videos and stuff like that. Yeah, just a really good.
I do love Ray. We've become very good friends. That's a good thing about social media is you do get a few good friends out of it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you. For all those that aren't following you, please go follow her right now at WilmaTheWonderHen. You are WilmaTheWonderHen. You always have an array of tips on your page. You have advice. You even had a whole thing about combs and what combs do. So that was amazing. So make sure that you follow her. I love that you said it's cool to give them treats, but not too many because we don't want to have them too unhealthy. They need that balanced diet.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to have you on my podcast.
I can't wait. It's
now, I know that you're probably more fancier than I am.
No.
We would love to have you.
We can't wait. I am down. Just let me know when and where and I'll be there.
Yeah, you can't back out now.
I know. I said it live. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Definitely look forward to it.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You have some wonderful birds, some wonderful hens. And I'm so glad that we're part of this year's Purina family. I get to meet some great people.
Yes.
And I'm glad we were able to put that egg conspiracy to rest.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on that.
Oh my goodness. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So thanks so much. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show. You guys make sure that you follow her online. This has been another excellent adventure.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye. Okay, I don't know how to get out of here.
No, I'm about to now.